Love in the Fast Lane. Chapter 14. The November air off Lake Norman carried a biting chill, stripping the trees bare and turning the water a steel gray that matched the sky. The season had ended 48 hours ago at Homestead, Miami, the roar of engines replaced by the heavy, resonant silence of winter. Trey stood on the deck of the lake house, a mug of coffee warming his hands. The championship trophy wasn't sitting on his mantle. He had missed the title by 4 points, a lug nut issue on the final pit stop, a vibration in the final 10 laps, a second-place finish behind a 20-year-old rookie with nothing to lose. 6 months ago, that loss would have eaten him alive. He would be in the dark, analyzing telemetry, screaming at Gary on the phone, throwing things. Today, he just watched the leaves skitter across the deck. "You're brooding." Sam's voice came from the sliding door. "I can see your shoulders tense from here." Trey turned. Sam stood there in flannel pajama pants and one of his old hoodies, hair messy, holding a tablet. She looked tired, but victorious. "Not brooding," Trey said, taking a sip. "Just decompressing. The adrenaline withdrawal is real." "Well, wake up. You have a job to do." She tapped the tablet screen. "I just got an email from the FIA safety delegate. They want my opinion on the barrier deformation specs for the Montreal Grand Prix. Apparently, the memo I wrote on kinetic energy dissipation made the rounds." Trey raised an eyebrow, a grin breaking through his morning fog. "World-famous engineer Samantha Kirby, consulting for Formula One. I should charge you rent now." "You can try, but see who knows how to program the smart thermostat. I'd advise against it." She walked over, leaning into him, stealing warmth. "Besides, we have a schedule. Tires need to be loaded, right?" The real race. Sam had moved in 2 months ago. It hadn't been a dramatic decision, just a gradual migration of toothbrushes, then clothes, then boxes of technical manuals, until living apart seemed inefficient. The garage had been reorganized to accommodate Stella, who now had her own lift, and a dedicated tool chest that Trey wasn't allowed to touch without supervision. "Go get dressed," Sam commanded, swatting his arm. "Driver's meeting is at 9. If we're late, I miss the course walk. And if I miss the course walk, I don't win D Street class. And if I don't win D Street class, you're making dinner." The venue was the massive concrete expanse of the ZMAX driveway parking lots, just down the road from the speedway. It was neutral ground, close enough to that the air smelled of race fuel, but far enough removed that the atmosphere was loose, grassroots, and chaotic. Trey backed the truck into their paddock spot. He wasn't driving the flashy, lifted Silverado the team provided. He was in an older diesel, dually, anonymous, and practical, towing the small open trailer that carried Stella. He hopped out, wearing a generic gray polo shirt and jeans, a baseball cap pulled low, no logos, no sponsors, just a guy supporting his driver. "Pressures?" Trey asked, grabbing the digital gauge from the glove box. "Start at 29 front, 26 rear," Sam said. She was already in her zone, hair pulled back tight, checking the torque on Stella's lug nuts. She moved with a nervous, kinetic energy that Trey recognized intimately. It was the pre-race jitters, the fear of failure that sharpened the senses. He knelt by the front left tire, unscrewing the valve cap. "Ambient temp is 52 degrees. Track surface is going to be cold. You might want to soften the rear shocks a click to help with rotation until the rubber warms up." Sam paused, torque wrench in hand. She looked at the sky, then at the asphalt. "Good call. Do it." Trey moved to the rear of the car, lying on the cold concrete to reach the adjustment knob on the shock absorber. He heard footsteps approaching, heavy boots crunching on gravel. "Hey, excuse me." A voice from above. Trey tensed. He braced himself for the recognition, the request for a selfie, the question about why he didn't win the championship. He prepared the polite, distant smile he used as armor. He slid out from under the car and sat up. A guy in a Subaru jacket was standing there, holding a clipboard. He wasn't looking at Trey. He was looking at Sam. "You're Kirby, right?" the guy asked. "The one who wrote the analysis on multi-link suspension geometry on the forums?" Sam blinked, wiping grease from her hands. "That's me." "Dude," the guy breathed, eyes wide. "I read that 3 times. It completely changed how I set up my toe angles. I dropped a 1.5 at the last event. I just wanted to say thanks." Sam flushed, a genuine, surprised pink coloring her cheeks. "Oh, you're welcome. It's just physics. Well, it's genius. Good luck today." The guy nodded to her, glanced vaguely at Trey, registering him only as the help, and walked away. Trey stayed sitting on the ground. He started to laugh, a low rumble in his chest. "Shut up," Sam hissed, though she was smiling too. "I didn't say a word." Trey got up, dusting off his jeans. "I'm just the tire guy. Nobody cares about the tire guy. I care about the tire guy. Especially when he adjusts my shocks." She handed him her helmet. GoPro is mounted. Data logger is armed. "I'm going to walk the course one more time. Visualize the line," Trey called after her. Late apex on the sweepers. He watched her walk away, her stride long and purposeful, merging into the sea of other drivers. He leaned against the car's fender, crossing his arms. A few people had noticed him now. He saw the whispers, the double takes, from the guys in the modified Miatas 3 spots down. A phone camera was discreetly pointed in his direction. But nobody approached. The vibe here was different. Respect was earned by lap times, not by TV contracts. And everyone knew that today. He wasn't the show. He was just Sam's pit crew. And honestly, he liked the promotion. The course was fast. A long slalom opening into a sweeping right-hander, followed by a tight technical section that required patience. Sam was in the third run group. Trey stood on top of the trailer, holding a camera steady. He could have used his phone, but he wanted the zoom, the frame rate. He wanted to capture the suspension load. Technically, he could have offered to drive. He could have entered the event, hopped in a spare car, and probably set the fastest time of the day. His hands twitched occasionally, muscle memory begging to release the clutch. But watching Sam, that was a different kind of rush. "Car 17 to the line," the announcer crackled over the PA. Samantha Kirby in the Audi A3, currently sitting second in class, looking to chase down that Golf R. The silver Audi staged. No burnout, no drama, just the distinctive BR rap of the exhaust as she checked the launch revs. Green flag. The launch was violent. The Audi squatted and shot forward, 4 wheels clawing at the cold asphalt. Trey tracked her through the viewfinder. "Easy on the entry," he muttered, zooming in on the front left tire. "Don't overdrive it." She entered the slalom. Left. Right. Left. The car danced. She was aggressive. Attacking the cones, the rear end stepping out just enough to rotate the car without losing momentum. It was the sleeper build, doing exactly what it was designed to do, looking like a grocery getter while pulling 1.1 gigaseconds. "Yes," Trey whispered. "That's the line." She hit the sweeper. He saw brake lights flicker, trail braking, keeping the weight on the nose to help it turn. The car hugged the cones, holding a tight, geometric line while the engine screamed. She came into the finish box hot, hard on the brakes, the ABS chatter audible from 50 yards away. She crossed the beam. 45.2, the announcer shouted. She jumps to the top of the leaderboard by 3/10. Trey lowered the camera. He punched the air, a sharp, involuntary motion. He felt a surge of pride that rivaled any victory lane celebration. It wasn't about the plastic trophy. It was about seeing her execute, seeing the mind he loved translate physics into motion. He hopped off the trailer and jogged toward the grid as she pulled in. She rolled the window down, pulling off her helmet. Her hair was a disaster, stuck to her forehead with sweat, her eyes wide and wild with adrenaline. "How did it look?" she asked, breathless. "Sector 2, Trey said immediately, leaning into the window. "You were perfect in the slalom, but you pinched the exit on the showcase turn. You left a 10th there. You can carry more speed if you trust the rear tires to hold." Sam stared at him, her chest heaving. Then she grinned. A sharp, dangerous grin. "Show me the video." Trey handed her the camera. She huddled over the small screen, dissecting her own performance while the engine pinged and popped as it cooled. "You're right," she muttered, watching the playback. "I hesitated on throttle application. I didn't trust the grip." "Trust the engineering," Trey said softly, putting a hand on the roof of the car. "You built it. It'll hold." "Okay," she handed the camera back. "Check the tire temps?" "I have 2 more runs." "On it, boss." He grabbed the pyrometer and knelt by the front tire. A shadow fell over him. He looked up to see a pair of guys standing there, one wearing a rusty hat, the other in a local car club shirt. "Hey, Trey," the guy in the hat said. He didn't sound aggressive, just awkward. "Good season, man. Tough break at Homestead." Trey paused. He could feel Sam watching him from the driver's seat. He stood up, wiping his hands on a rag. "Thanks," Trey said. He didn't retreat. He didn't put up the wall. Car was fast. Just ran out of laps. "You guys gonna challenge for it next year?" "That's the plan." Trey gestured towards Sam. "But right now, I'm trying to get this driver a win. She's faster than me, through the slalom." The guys looked at Sam, then back at Trey. "No kidding?" the car club guy asked. "Check the times," Trey said, pointing at the digital scoreboard. She's gapping the field. The guys nodded, offered a "cool, man," and wandered off toward the concessions. Trey went back to the tire. "You handled that well," Sam observed quietly. "I'm learning," Trey said. He bled 2 pounds of pressure from the front right. "It helps when I have better things to focus on." "Oh, yeah." "Like what?" He looked up at her. She was greasy, sweaty, intense, and sitting in a car she had modified with her own hands. "Like making sure you crush that Volkswagen," he said. "Now get back out there. Green flag in 5. Sam rolled her window up, revving the engine. Trey stepped back, crossing his arms, watching her pull toward the line. The wind cut through his thin polo, but he didn't feel the cold. He just felt the hum of the engine and the quiet satisfaction of a Sunday, with nothing to prove and everything to gain.